Welcome back, my little joys. It's your girl Zoe Joy, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well, but if you're new here, my name is Zoe Joy, and I dedicate my channel to self-improvement, social challenges, and basically becoming the best and healthiest and happiest version of yourself. And I also throw in a few vlogs here and there of my most cherishable memories. So if you're interested in stuff like that, be sure to smack that subscribe button, and let's get on with the video. So this video is basically a follow-up to my other video, which is basically how to get rid of toxic people in your life. Now, if you haven't seen that video yet, be sure to pause this video real quick, go and check that video out, and then come back here for some more invaluable information. Now, the way I'm going to organize this is by having 5 different types of people that I'm going to talk about, and all of these 5 different people are based on my own personal experiences. So not everyone's experience is the same. I'm also going to mention 5 important facts for you to remember so that you can identify these types of people in your life, and you can then make your own decision of whether or not you want to keep them in your life or whether or not you want to separate yourself from them. So let's just get started with the first one. Number 1, the narcissistic leech. Now, the narcissistic leech is basically those types of people that think the world revolves around them. So they think that they're better than everyone, that they're smarter than everyone, or maybe prettier than everyone. And because that they feel this way, they aren't actually seeking out real valuable relationships or friendships with people. In fact, the way you can identify these people is that they only reach out to you when they need something from you. And the relationship and the friendship is never fair. So there's no balance and equal balance between you and the other individual. And they'll usually get frustrated, or they'll pressure you into doing things that you don't want to do. But for them, it doesn't matter if you get hurt or if you get affected by it in any way at the end of the day, as long as they're getting that benefit out of you. Another way you can identify these types of people is if they're just rude to people for no reason, whether that's rude to their own family members when they're being nice to them, or maybe if they're rude to other people, maybe your own family and friends. That's a big red flag. Honestly, the main thing that you are going to notice about these people is that they genuinely believe that they are better than everyone else, and they will never fail to remind you of that. Now, I used to have a friend like this. We'll call her Tully. Tully and I knew each other in elementary school, but we didn't really become friends until middle school. And that friendship didn't even begin to start anything until she called me out for not inviting her to a birthday party that I was throwing. And of course, back then I didn't know how to stand up for myself. So I was just like, oh yeah, sure, you can come to my party. It's at this time, this place, whenever. And she ended up making me believe that I was her really good friend. And other people, my own friends too, would come up to me and tell me about the times that Tully would bully them. And I wouldn't believe them because I was stuck in the trap that she put me in, thinking that I was really good friends with her. So I was like, I'm gonna stick by my friend. I'm not gonna believe the rumors that they tell me because, you know, I'm her friend. That's what I'm supposed to be. It wasn't until I noticed that she would always find ways to put me down, to criticize my lifestyle, my family, and the way I lived, and who the people that I talked to. And it was getting frustrating because at the time I was still learning myself, and she would throw in comments that would really affect my self-esteem and my self-worth. And she would only reach out to me and want to hang out with me if I had something to offer her. And it was frustrating, and it would make me question my value in friendship. So of course I cut that person off. I was very straight up and rude about it in the beginning. You don't have to do what I did. But I feel like the biggest thing that I learned out of being friends with this person is that the loudest and noisiest people are always the most self-conscious. And true confidence comes from being quiet and subtle. If you have real confidence in yourself, you don't need to force yourself to prove it to other people. You don't need to post certain pictures to get the attention that you're craving. If you have your own real, raw self-confidence in yourself, you can build that hype up for yourself. You don't need other people to build you up. You don't need other likes and follows from social media. You don't need any of those things. All you need are you, yourself, and your true true friends and family. Number 2, the guilty controller. Now these types of people are very sneaky. And the reason that they're very sneaky is because on the outside, they'll appear very kind and very nice and sweet, sensitive and supportive to everyone around them. But on the inside, they're very manipulative and very controlling, and they can be very selfish and needy and clingy, and you'll feel like absolute garbage after hanging out with these people because you're constantly questioning yourself. And the way that they control other people is they'll pull onto your heartstrings to get you to stay by their side. And because that they put out this image that they're trustworthy and they listen to you, you can fall into that trap easily by telling them the things that are personal to you, that you are frustrated about, maybe things that you can't control, that you wish you could, and they'll later on use that to their own advantage, whether they know that they're doing this or not. Another way you can notice these types of people is that they try to separate you from the things that are important to you, whether that's your family, maybe your friends, your school, your sports, education, your career, maybe your hobbies, whatever that you find valuable, they're gonna try to separate you from that because they want to be your world. They want all of your attention to be focused on them, and that's not healthy. And whenever you try to confront these problems to them, they will try to turn it around on you, and that's where they pull onto your heartstrings. That's where that plays, because you told them the things that are personal to you, and they'll try to use that to their advantage by criticizing you on the things that you can't control maybe, or maybe something that you're self-conscious about. They'll try to turn the problem around to you so that all that negative attention is not on them. They only want the good attention on them from you. I recently cut off someone like this. I'm glad that I cut off this person. In the beginning, they really had me believing that I could trust them, and I told them things that were personal and valuable to me. And of course, like I said just now, they used that to their advantage, and it really with my mental health, and I truly believed that I was very hard to be around, and that I was complicated, and that it was just a chore to be around me, and that's the worst feeling that you can have. So it's very toxic to be around these people. So the biggest lesson that I learned is that actions speak so much louder than words. So much louder. They can tell you all the nice things that you would want to hear, and to make you think that they have your full support. But if their actions don't match up with those sweet words that they constantly tell you, then how true can their words truly be? How much of their loyalty really is there for you? You know what I mean? It's really hard to change these people because they are very selfish and they want what they can't have. So it's really not worth it to be around these types of people. If you find yourself questioning your self-worth and you find yourself questioning everything and blaming yourself for things that you can't control, cut them off. Cut them off immediately. It's not worth the emotional drain, and it's only going to exhaust you. It's not worth it. Number 3, the royal dramas. Now, in any type of friendship or relationship that you have with somebody, if you're telling them something that's very private to you, or maybe some type of business that you don't want other people to know about, you expect them to keep that conversation between you and that other person. But with the royal dramas, they are driven by gossip and they crave gossip. So with these types of people, they will usually put you into situations that are probably uncomfortable for you, that you don't want to be involved in, because they want to see things blow up. And as harsh as that sounds, it's the truth. They blow up more than necessary, or maybe they blow up on things that don't even matter, or maybe doesn't even involve them. Usually, you'll notice this by seeing if they are the ones that start the fights. If they're always mad about something, they're always angry about things that have nothing to do with them. Another way that you can identify these types of people is that they'll always misinterpret things that you explain to them or talk to them about, because with these royal dramas, they only want to hear what they want to hear because they are driven. They have nothing else to occupy themselves, so drama is usually their go-to, their go-to conversations, their go-to motivations for doing things. And it's really sad, to tell you the truth, that this is all that they can base their focus around. It's just creating drama and problems for other people. I used to be involved with somebody like this, and we'll call them Zoe. During this time, it was my junior year, and at that time I was cutting a lot of people out of my life that were making me feel bad about myself, that were probably not impacting my life, that were just toxic to me, and Zoe was one of those people. And she blew up so badly by me cutting her off. She took offense to it because she thought that I only was cutting her off and not cutting anyone else off, which was so untrue. It was obvious that I was cutting off multiple people, but she just took it to heart, and she really blew up on me because of it. She was starting fights and arguments with me. She would blow up on me in class. She would have other people threaten to jump me in the hallways. It was a really scary situation for me to be in, and I had to get the counselors involved, and it was just such a mess. But after cutting this person off, I just felt so free. I felt like a weight was lifted off my chest for all of these people, actually. And the biggest lesson that I learned: you have no business getting involved with people who tell you and gossip to you about other people's businesses. They're driven by drama for a reason. If you're telling them something that is very personal or private to you, chances are everyone else is going to know about it the next day. So be careful and be very choosy about who you talk to, what you talk to them about, and what private matters you discuss with them. They'll only hear what they want to hear, so communicating with these types of people is almost pointless. So just cut them off, let them have their tantrum or whatever, and walk away. Do not look back, walk away. Number 4, the broken one. Being involved with this type of person can be very difficult, especially if you care about them a lot, because with this type of person, they are seeking someone to tell them all of their sad sob stories, and usually you'll identify these people is if they are the biggest Debbie Downers that you know, and every conversation that you have with this person is very negative, and it's always something sad or depressing. Usually when you're around these types of people, you feel very drained after talking to them, and it's exhausting being their friend or their partner or whatever they may be. Another way you'll know is if you feel like a burden telling them the things that are bothering you or problems that you're having or dealing with in your life, or maybe they're cutting you off while you're telling them something that is bothering you because they want to make their story seem like the biggest in the room. I used to have a friend like this, we'll call them Bethany, and it was really hard to cut this person off because I cared about them and I knew that they needed help, but I couldn't be that person to fix their problems. I wasn't a professional therapist and they needed a professional therapist, but they thought of me as one and they just were throwing all of their problems onto me, and I felt obligated to listen even though I was dealing with so much on my plate. And it was hard because I felt like I couldn't talk to her about things that were bothering me into my life. Not saying that her problems weren't valuable or important, they were, but the friendship was very unfair and very unbalanced. So the biggest thing that I learned from being involved with Bethany was that your pain and problems are just as valuable as the next person. If you're going through some things and someone's trying to throw their own problems onto you that you're not ready to hear that yet, you have the right to set boundaries for yourself so that you're not overwhelmed with everything. Someone like this needs a professional therapist, and that's what therapy is for. And you don't have to be that person for them. You can listen to them if they need someone to talk to, but make sure the friendship is balanced. And you don't have to be mean to this person. Maybe they don't even realize that they're doing this themselves. But you can talk to them by saying, hey, I know you're going through some things right now, and I want to listen to you, but I'm also going through some things myself, and I lately have been feeling that our friendship has been going down a wrong path, and I don't want it to go down the wrong path. I would rather come and listen to you when I'm in a clear state of mind. So I just need some time to figure things out on my own. I hope you can understand. Take care. That's all you can do. And if they understand, if they're a true friend or partner to you, they're gonna understand. And if they're not, just forget about it. Number 5, the jealous bubble. Now, if you're anything like me, being the best version of yourself is very important to you, or you have big goals and big dreams in mind that you want to achieve. And if that's the case, be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will have more content for you that will help you get there in the future. But back to what we were talking about. If you're like me, you want to grow and succeed with your friends. You want you and your friends to grow. You want to start businesses with them. You want to see you and them and all of you guys together be where y'all want to be. But the problem with having someone like a jealous bubble in your life is that they will slow you down from that. Maybe they'll talk about wanting to achieve those goals with you. Maybe they'll talk about wanting to be in a different place than where they are now, but if they don't have the same mindset as you to change their life and to make that effort to change their life, then it can be very difficult. You'll notice this if you have to physically push them to stick to a plan that you guys have, and it can be very hard because you don't want to push them, you don't want to force them, especially if you care about them and you love them. You just want to do different things with them, but they're not showing the same energy back with you, and it can be hard to know when to push and when to hold back. Another way you notice this is if they invest all of their time and their energy into things that slows them down, and whenever you hang around these people, you find yourself slowing down as well from your own personal success and your own goals that you have in mind. And it's very dangerous because your goals are just as important, and you know, if you have goals in mind, you're just going to be frustrated at the end of the day after being around them knowing that you didn't even get anything done. Usually the biggest thing that gives this away, knowing if you have someone like this in your life, is that you find yourself having to hold back anything exciting in your life that's going on. Because when you're in a relationship with someone, or you have a relationship or a friendship with somebody, you want to share both the good news and the bad news with them. You don't want it to be all negative, but you don't want it to be all positive either, where you can't talk to them. But if you have something exciting going on in your life, you want to share it with them, but you find yourself holding back from that out of fear that they are probably going to become hostile and aggressive with you, because you notice that they tend to be hostile, aggressive, and bitter or jealous of people that are above them, whether that's financially, socially, educationally. It could be 100 million different things. And this can be very draining and very hard on a friendship or any relationship, especially if one day you end up becoming the person that you want to be, you end up getting to the place where you want to be in life, and you reach the success that you have been dying to get to. One or two things is going to happen between you and the person that's a jealous bubble. Number 1, they're either going to be motivated by you, they're going to support you, and they'll maybe even want to change their life around at the time and then decide that they want to be successful with you. Or that support and motivation is going to turn into resentment towards you. It's going to turn into jealousy. Maybe they won't want to talk to you again after that, or maybe, just maybe, they'll start expecting more from you. Maybe if you're rich, they'll start expecting you to loan them money. Maybe if you're super popular now, they'll expect you to include them into popular groups. They'll start expecting more from you that you didn't have to provide them before in the past. And that's very dangerous, especially if you really care about this person and you love them and you see that they have potential and you want them to, get to where they want to be in their life too. But the important thing I want you to get out of this is that I'm not saying that you don't play a part in your success whenever you're around them. I'm not saying that they're fully at fault. They're not bad people. Everyone has the right to live their life the way that they want to, as long as it's not hurting anybody. Then they can live their life however they want. But in the end of the day, whether you want to admit that or not, we become the people that we surround ourselves with. And if they're influencing you in a way that's taking you away from your financial goals or your success or your future or the things you want to achieve, then it's not worth investing all of your time and energy trying to get them out of their comfort zone. It has to be their decision, especially if they're trying to do it for other people because other people are pushing them to do it. Then they're not going to stick to it. No one wants to stick to something if they feel forced and obligated to it. Let them decide on their own whether or not they want to change and get out of their comfort zone. But don't wait on them to change. Focus on you and your goals. The only person that's going to bring you success in your future is you. So continue to focus on you and just let time tell if they want to change their life around or not, or if they want to stick by your side or not. And that is all the 5 different types of toxic people to look out for and avoid. I apologize to anyone who I used their name as an example for these types of toxic people. I just had to put in a fake filler name for the sake of the video. By the way, if you're one of the people that I cut off in my own life and you're watching this video right now, I did you guys a favor by not calling out your actual names. You're very welcome. Other than that, I hope that this gave you more valuable information, and I hope that this will help you later on in the future. Comment down below. Let me know in the comments below if you have come across any of these types of people. I would love to hear your guys' stories, and I will reply to you, of course. So just let me know in the comments below. Let me know what your experiences were like and how did you deal with these types of people. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else to say. Other than if you liked this video, be sure to give this a fat thumbs up or thumbs down. I'll take both. Subscribe for more content later on in the future, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!